Hi guys from Linz, my hometown. I have moved here 35 years ago and this is now a very developed town. I want to show you Linz as it is. This is one of the parks here, very beautiful. This is the energy tower and the railway station. This is the former railway station area, the administration, and over there the new railway. And it's quite dynamic here, everything is booming. That's the energy tower of the local, still state-owned municipality, so energy utility. That's the tax office, and it's really booming. And I can guarantee you, Linz was relatively poor when I left here in the year 1990 to go to the military and then to Vienna to study and then to Brussels and the Balkans and Ukraine, and was relatively poor. And here, this is the new theater. And here, this is the new area, like it's not La Défense, of course, it's a city with 200,000 people, but it's green, it's clean, it's booming. And one of the reasons why it's booming and why it's going so good is because it has a big industrial base, inherited from the Second World War, no doubt, but it's still a very, very significant industrial base. And it is, of course, a good central strategic situation, and it's relatively open for the Europeans, and there is a lot of new people working in these industrial assets and in the small and medium enterprises, and this is so important and this must be continued. So it's a beautiful place to visit and it has a great infrastructure. Actually, the infrastructure could be better. Actually, it could be better governed. I'm not happy with the regional economic performance the last years. Much more could be done, but unfortunately it's governed with the nationalists and they are trying to block the labor market. And that's the big tragedy, because here in Upper Austria much more people could live if you compare it with Upper Bavaria, the region which is much more prosperous in southern Germany. Yes, that's one of the tragedies, because we have this very confused economic consensus of the left-wing socialists in all parties, and despite everything, actually, it's a wonder that it's so well working and it's booming. Linz actually, Upper Austria, despite all the bad policy, is actually booming and very successful in the last 30 years. It's getting ever more richer and ever more beautiful, and that's a big, amazing progress. When I was living here, this was a hard steel town and very complicated, lot of poverty issues, lot of social issues. But of course, the prosperity of the last 30 years of Austria being in the center of Europe, of immigration and of the potential of so many new people coming to Upper Austria has been transforming that city tremendously. Now it's boom town. Here the real estate market is booming. It's very expensive regional center here now, and that's definitely quite astonishing. If you look at the property prices, also the infrastructure has improved. It still hasn't a metro system, but it has a decent tramway system, like it's appropriate for a city of 200,000 people. And it's a good industrial sector. As I always do, I can show you some of the property prices. Yes, what you have to pay here. Yeah, okay, 1.2 million for Doppelhaushälfte. Yes, everything sold. You get here a pool, again 650,000. You really have to be rich to live in Linz, it seems. Yeah, that's the situation, and I will go now to my appointment. But I can tell you from this city, it's actually much better than it ever was, because of relative openness, relative good performance. But imagine how good this could be if there would be a decent openness, decent economics. And this is all possible, because why not? Why do we have to keep things in this situation? Here actually I'm in front of the Ukraine Refugee Center. Here that's the Ukraine welcoming sector. It's a big queue here, I see, and that's not good. It should be definitely more done to help the Ukrainians in this war, and especially the Upper Austrians could first of all cut the energy supplies from Russia, and then obviously also to support the EU integration. That would be the way, and not to have big queues in front of Cafe Kiev. Yeah? And probably they are here for the registration, and probably we are again not really coping with the situation well, and that's very annoying that instead of completely opening the labor market, as I said so often, they are not doing that, but they are keeping the poor Ukrainians in long lines, and they are again protectionist and not inclusive, helping yes, but not helping as it should, and that's very annoying. And when I see, obviously not all is perfect, there's still a lot to be done in Linz, but it would be much easier with better economics based on openness, more free trade agreements, better energy policy, because here the policy mix is obviously against nuclear, against coal, against all the reasonable energy mix, obviously, and then they claim to be for green, but now they cannot cut the Russian energy because they are so dependent on it. While ever we knew already since 20 years that there is a major problem. And here we are again in 2022 and completely dependent. Austria, unfortunately, was also led by Mr. Leitl, one of the protest centers against the sanctions against Russia from 2014, because here obviously this pro-Russian philosophy has been very strong. I tried to develop and integrate a better partnership with Zaporizhia and Linz. They are sister cities. I cannot see a lot of support from Linz for Zaporizhia, which is now currently again under attack. But unfortunately here the foreign policy is a complete disaster. Yes, protectionism, anti-Ukraine in the EU, anti-Kosovo in the EU. While here are so many people from Kosovo, over 100,000. They live in Austria from Kosovo, and 40,000 of them in Upper Austria alone, and many very good people working hard. I met the guys from Lansing, from other companies. They really work, they contribute, they build success. But Austria is not saying thank you by taking their countries into the European Union. It's absolutely, what I can say. Of course, outside you see it's not so poor anymore, no, not so rich anymore outside the center, because of course here a lot of the prosperity don't have to be run over by the bus. That would be bad. Yes, a little vlog here from Linz to show you. That's my street where I was born. It was very, very poor when I was starting to live here. Linz was relatively poor. It was completely destroyed in World War II because, of course, its tragic past connected with the big bad guy. Anyhow, and so now gradually, with the help of tens of thousands of new people in Linz, from Turkey, from the Balkans, now from Ukraine, it's getting rebuilt. And it's getting rebuilt gradually. It's not as fancy and beautiful as Vienna, but it's booming. A lot of new buildings over there and construction sites everywhere, new residential buildings, and it's getting gradually to a much better situation. And yes, that's good. I'm happy to be back in Linz. I will just continue onwards to Vienna now, and I will keep you posted. I can just call for openness. That's the key for prosperity. We need more countries in the European Union, 37, you will be not surprised. We need obviously also a common labor market. That's the key for prosperity. And we need to be generally more open. That's, I think, the key for success. And that's what I call for. And Linz, I think, is a good symbol for that. And I hope you like it. Now it's renovated and much more progress. It's no longer as poor as it was. And yeah, from Linz, I can just tell you, come here. It's actually quite nice. I will show you also some of the touristic sites over time. And if you follow me and if you listen to this podcast, you will see many Austrian cities in the future. And this is Linz. Of course, needs much more investment, and it will come. Now the preparations are there for the summer, but I can tell you, oh, that's a friend of mine. They are building here. Very good. And here things are happening all over the place, and the city is gradually recovering from its World War II and Cold War slump, and gradually it will come up towards a more prosperous European future. We could have had much more success, but we were not ready because we were delaying, blocking protectionism, anti-Mercosur, anti-TTIP, anti-CETA, anti-opening of the labor market, for protectionism of goods, of people, no new countries, no new people, no goods, no competition. This is of course then the result, and you see already here the poorer part of the town because of neglect, lack of innovative European urban planning, and of course lack of labor, lack of competition, lack of openness. The result is poverty, and of course, let's not forget, high taxation is killing the businesses. That's the situation we have here. And then of course you have this big focus on carbon mobility. That's the street where I grew up on, and of course it's a very big problem when you have a lot of cars coming through and you are in the situation that Russia is happy and we are unfortunately in this crisis, in the war, because of that. Failed 20 years of policy, even much longer. High taxation, protectionism, closing countries out, closing people out, closing goods out, and just a selected few connected in the center get richer. That's the situation. Yes, here from Pax Europiana, more to come. I will keep you posted from Linz. For now, goodbye. Thanks a lot. Bye.